Hi there, I'm Budda and you're watching Dr. Guitar, a show for all you guitarists out there. In today's episode, I'm not playing, I'm giving you a ton of suggestions for Christmas gifts for guitarists. So you might be a guitarist husband or wife, you might be a guitarist friend, you might be a guitarist who wants to give a gift to another guitarist friend. This episode is all about suggestions from very simple and very affordable gifts to a little more expensive gifts, but they are all under 100 euros or dollars price range. First of all, let me thank my dear patrons for supporting the show. If you want to become a patron, it's super easy. Just go to the link and follow the steps. You can also support the channel by contributing to the tip jar. I thank you in advance. If you are interested in guitar lessons, just send me an email or a direct message on Facebook or Instagram and we'll deal with it from there. Also, if you like the show and the episode, please consider to subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification and leave the thumbs up. It's important for YouTube to share this video with as many people as we can. Thanks a lot and let's go. My first tip is a sand for picks. I stole my wife's sander, and it's a nail sander. So when you have a bad nail, it also works when you have a bad nail. You just sand it. It's super soft, and it rounds off the sharp edges and the dents that picks get when they are being used. I'm not sure if you will be able to perceive the pick dent, but when a pick, let me get the camera to focus. When we get a pick with some use, it gets like rough and it sticks to the strings. So an easy thing to do, it's like just pass it through like this a couple of times. And since this sand is made for nails, it's really smooth, so it rounds out, but it doesn't deform the pick. So it's a great tool. You can get it in any cosmetic shop. It's a great tool for guitarists. Talking about picks, picks are a great gift. And there's some brands that I recommend dearly. Iron Age picks are super, super great. And they have a lot of shapes. I have a full bag of Iron Age picks. Various shapes like the jazz shape. I really love the simplest ones, like this white is really cool. The black one is also really great. They sound really great, and actually picks have a sound to it. I have a special one here, for example. This is a really great one. I have another one, the pink one, very thick. They sound really different, and I actually use a bunch of different picks while playing, depending on what I'm playing. So I love to have different picks, especially here in the studio, where a pick can be like a really good tool. Another great set of picks is Mars picks. They are made in Portugal, made from a special alloy that doesn't degrade with time. They have different thicknesses. They have all eco-friendly materials. So they are really good, and they have three different shapes. The triangular shape, for those of you who appreciate it, like bass players and mandolin. And every one of the tips is different from the other, so it gives you three different feels in the same pick. They have it in different materials. This is made out of coffee residue, so it's recyclable pick. They have this shape too, which is one of my favorites. This is a very thin material, very rubberized, so it will give you a warm tone. They have different types of materials. And of course, my friends at Rombo Picks, they have great picks. They have this 4-pick set. I already used this one, which is my favorite pick. But they have different thicknesses, different shapes, and they are really, really great picks, really great and beautiful. And I like to support these smaller brands because they are starting up and they are developing new stuff without the big corporation thing. So Big shout out to all these 3 picks. Next gift suggestion is a really cool brand. Guitar strap is always a great gift, so I would suggest the Ride-On straps. They are made in Spain, really, really great quality, really well built. So they have a screw in here where you can use it to lengthen or shorten your strap. They are really well made, and a lot of them, it's not the case of this one, but I have another one here. A lot of them have this special pick pocket, so you can use your pick. You can have your spare pick here, and you're playing like this, so it's like this, standing here. You can use it to have a spare pick, which is really, really great deal to do. And I also have this black one, which also has a different way of setting the picks. It's, instead of being diagonal, it's horizontal, so you stick it here. It's really brand new, so okay. You can stick it here, and it's really easy to take it off while playing if you lose a pick, or if you're like me and you use different picks for different songs. Because I do that when I use fast songs. I use lighter picks, and when I use my normal songs, I use heavier picks. So this is a great gift. Ride-On straps. They have a huge catalog. You can buy them from 20 euros to 50 or 60 euros. You have a lot of options, and it's always a great gift for a guitar player to have a brand new smelling strap. Music Nomad has a great catalog for tools for guitar, and I have a few that I really like and use. I have this wrench, so you can release or tighten, for example, the ring around your pickup selector. It's a very easy way to put it under and release it or tighten the jack. So it's a really cool and inexpensive gift for a guitar player, and you can store it in your bag. Super easy to keep it around. If you want a little more, you got the special toolkit, and it comes with this lovely box that I really love, and it's got that wrench too that you can store here, but it's got a lot of screwdriver tips so for your guitar, so you have almost all or probably all of the screws available here. And you also have the screwdriver itself, but the screwdriver, it's also a wrench with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different gauges, so you can tighten all the bolts and all the things in your guitar, including the jack, the knobs, the guitar knobs, rings, etc. And it's also a mounting tool, so you can use it as a screwdriver using any of the tips. Simple, great, and very effective. You can store it in your guitar case. It's a little heavier though, so you'll have to think if you want to carry the extra weight, but it's great to adjust the saddle's height or any intonation. I'm always missing a tip of this when I want to tighten or loosen my guitar bolts. So this is one of the tools. You have another one, a little more specific for the truss rod adjustment. It comes with a screw. It works for every truss rod, and you have all the lengths and all the gauges. It's a little more specific because it's specific to truss rod adjustment, but you have it all here, so you can do your setup as you want it. Simpler tool, it's the Octopus. I love it. It's that wrench with the tips. Simpler than the big box, but you have all the tools here too. The same wrench that is in there, it's also here. You also have the work mat with a cradle that you can really lay down your guitar to do all the working over there, like screwing and etc. And the mat will protect your guitar from getting damaged, and the neck will be set in the cradle with a lot of different options, with a lot of different positions, so you can really custom fit it to your guitar. An indispensable tool for me, it's the fast fret. GHS fast fret. I have one on each guitar case because I never want to be without it. You just clean your strings with a dry cloth, then you pass this into the strings and you use the dry cloth to clean the excess. It will make your strings feel new all the time, and they will last forever. They will last really, really long time. So this is a really money saver, and it lasts forever. I have one in each guitar, and one here in the studio, one at home. I always have one at hand because I never know when I will get it. I use it when I start to play and after I play. So it's a really handy thing. You don't need to have one for each guitar, but you can. A great tool I just recently discovered is this Neutrik timbre plug. Yeah, it's a plug. Why is it so special and why is it so big? Well, this plug is basically a 4-tone cable. So it has this rotary switch here. Let me try to show it. You rotate it. And it changes your tone, so it gives you the full. If you're in the full position, you have your cable tone. Then it changes the capacitance and resistance, so it darkens the tone. It changes it, but it also mid-ranges it a little. So depending on the guitar, depending on the amp, depending on your setup, this is a really cool way of getting 4 different tones out of the same cable. If you watch the show, you know I've done a cable episode. I'm a cable fanatic. This is, for example, my sinusoid cable, which is a great sounding cable. But sometimes for my nags or for my telly, it's a little too bright. So instead of going for the tone knob, which always cuts a little of the volume of the guitar, I just sometimes do a click and I'm on the first darkest position, and it's enough. Or I'll have to do it all to get a jazzier tone out of the guitar, and it fattens the guitar, and it almost sounds like my retrocoil cable. But for example, if I'm playing with my Les Paul or the BNG or my DGT or humbucker guitar, which usually are way darker than the Nags or the Strat or a Tele, I usually leave it all open and I have a bright tone. So it's easy to get a great tone. It's easy to install. You just have to solder it, but it's really easy. I did my own on a lot of cables, and I have it as a way to have like different tones immediately instead of having to change cables and test cable tone. And our memory is really short in terms of audio. So when you're trying a cable and then you try another, you forget how the other cable sounds. So this will give you an immediate difference, and you will pick the one you like the most and go with it. Great tool. And a great gift too. The Ditto Looper has been my favorite loop pedal, and it's a great tool if your guitarist target doesn't have a loop pedal. I've been using my Ditto Looper for a long time, so this is just a thing that I put to press better, but it's a normal Ditto Looper. Well, it's not a normal, it's a special edition, gold special edition, but it's basically a normal Ditto. It doesn't have any different functions, it's just gold. And now I recently got the Ditto Plus loop, which is exactly the same as this one, but has 99 bank storage. So you can store 99 loops, which is just incredible. For me, since I teach guitar online, I need a looper to teach a lot, and I use the same loops for different students. So instead of having to erase the loop and re-record it when I need it, I just change bank, I record a new loop, I go back to the first bank or to the 9 bank or whatever, and I use it when I need it and when I want it.
So it's a great tool. I have a special episode on loop, actually using this looper, and I show you some hidden uses for the loop pedal that I really love and use. It's also a great pedal to test amps and to sound check if you're recording and you want to get the good level from the preamp. If you're playing and adjusting the level, it's always a mess. So I use the loop, I record a loop, and then I stop playing and I'm just adjusting the level of the mic pre, I'm EQing, compressing, whatever I need to do, and I'm not playing, I'm just listening. Great tool. When practicing, you should be using a loop to get context. You record an harmony and then you play on top of that harmony. Another great Christmas gift is the amp clamp, either the S series or the W series. This sticks to your amp, really easy to any amp. It adjusts here, well, to virtually any amp. There's some amps which it's difficult to use it. Then you stick a microphone into here and you're good to go. It's on the amp, you don't need to move it, you don't need to do anything, it's always on the same spot, and you're not stumbling on the floor with it close to the amp. I use it always here in the studio. It's always on my Lone Star, it's always on my Royal Atlantic 4x12 cabinet, and I take it off and put it on a new amp when I'm testing and reviewing another amp. It's a great tool and great to use at home if you're miking your guitar amp, because it doesn't stick in the way, it doesn't stand in the way, it's not a bulky thing, it gets really tight into your amp, and you can also screw it to your amp if you're using it always the same. I do it live with my Supros. They have the female screw bottom, and I just put them there in festivals when they move amps from a place to another. It's always in the same spot. It's always in the same spot for every show. So it's a great gift for a guitar player and this Christmas. This is a simple, super inexpensive gift, but it's super great to have it. It's this rubber rings that are used for many things. This is for a bottle, like the beer bottle, the homemade beer. This is from CD's packaging. These are washers for hoses and for everything that uses water. Why do I use it? Well, I can use it, for example, to tighten the strap to my guitar. I use it a lot. Fender also sells this, but it costs like €2.50 for a set, or 4.5, while this costs like 12 cents. So it's a no-brainer. But I also use it under the pedals, on the knobs, so they don't rotate accidentally. I put this under the knob and press the knob down, and then it creates some friction so the knob doesn't rotate as easily. You can also use it on your guitar knobs if you're always bumping into the guitar knobs and you don't want to. Of course, it will get tighter, and if that's not a thing you're looking for, it's not a good thing. But if that's what you're looking for, and for pedals, it's really great, because sometimes, especially if you have pedals layered, sometimes I'm reaching for the upper pedal and I stumble into one of the pedals knobs, and I change it dramatically, or the cable tightens around the cable and around the knobs, and it changes the settings. And when you go back to that pedal, or if that pedal is on, it will give you a dramatic change. Probably no sound at all, or super loud sound, or super distorted, or the delay is different. So this is a really, really great way of improving your workflow, and a super cheap gift. Kontakt sprays are a must for every guitarist. This will solve your problems with noise on the pedals, noise on the guitar knobs, noise on the jack, bad contact. You will get a lot of dirt on your contacts and on your jacks. Also on your AC jacks, so your power plugs on pedals. This is a simpler contact cleaner. It just cleans it up. This protects it and removes dirt, but you can only use it in knobs. You can also use it in jacks, but it's not what it's meant to. But don't use it in PCB. I've done it and I've ruined the pedal. You can also use it to clean up your tube. So spray the tube contact on your amp. First remove the tube, spray it on the contacts, and then insert the tube. It will reduce a lot of noise from your amp. It will clean up your amp, and it's a great maintenance tool, super affordable. A brush, a paintbrush. Why do you need this? Not to be a painter, but to clean your guitar and your pedals. This will go in all the small spots that you can't reach with a cloth or anything else, like in between strings, in between pickups, all that dirt, in pedals, in between the knobs. This is a great cleaning tool. It will keep things sharp looking and really clean. A great affordable tool for Christmas. You will have to explain it probably, otherwise your guitarist friend or husband or wife will be very confused when you give him a paintbrush. I use this hardware case to store my picks. I told you picks are a great option. I have a ton of picks. I use it here. I have it. This is my studio toolbox. I also have different boxes like with picks. This even says picks. And Walrus Audio 2, they sent me one with a pedal, and I love it. Okay, so I store picks here, picks that I really use. Oh, this is a great one from Iron Age Picks, one of my favorite picks from them, really thick one. And I store picks around because when I'm recording, I test and I drive a lot. I use a lot of picks. Even when I'm recording other guitarists, I suggest them to experiment different picks. When overdubbing parts, when doubling guitars, I usually use it, and especially on acoustic instruments like guitar, ukulele, mandolin, whatever. I use it a lot because it changes the perspective and the timbre and the tone of the instrument. It's a great free EQ. Paddleboard tape is a much better solution than Velcro for pedals. It's way more expensive too. But it is great when you use it with pedals because it's you only use a few and you don't need the female and male attachment, so you can use it like this. You press it and it makes a noise like when you try to remove it vertically, it doesn't come out. But it comes out really easy if you do like this. So it has a great advantage because when you stick a pedal with this on the bottom and you use it on the floor, it doesn't stick to the dirt and to hairs and all the dusts that usually Velcro sticks with, and then it doesn't glue anymore, it doesn't fix anymore. And it's a way more permanent fix than Velcro. So it's a great gift. 3M, pedal board, dual lock, great Christmas gift. Slides. No guitar player is completed if he doesn't have a set of slides. One slide? Why have one slide when you can have 3 or 5 or 10? Every slide has a different tone. Here in the studio, I have 4 of my favorite, but here at hand, I have this 3 at my disposal. I have this porcelain, which has a very bright tone. I have this brass one, which has a darker but also
a little metallic tone. And I have this, which is kind of X of all trades, because it's a ring slide, so it's kind of engagement slide. Yeah, and happily married ever after. And it sticks here in your finger, and you can play slide like this. So you stick it here and you play slide. But when you want, you have all your fingers to play. So it's a great tool. And the last of the ideas for a Christmas gift, a flashlight, a Maglite. This is a 2-function way Maglite. It has this one and this other big option. Why is this helpful? Well, when you lose a pick in the floor, this is great to find it. But mostly when you're trying to mic your amp, it's great to point the light into your speaker cabinet and see where the speaker is and find the position you want to place it. I usually like to place my mics on the edge of the cone, where the cone meets the dust cap. It's usually my starting point. And I use it a lot, but I use it a lot to go behind the amp when something is wrong, or when I want to connect, or if I want to check anything. A flashlight is always a great tool for a guitar player, and especially nowadays they are so super light and so powerful as this one. Well, that's it. I hope you have liked the show. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe the YouTube channel and share it with the world. Let me know if you have any other suggestions of cool Christmas gifts for guitar players. I would really love to read your comments about that. If you want to have some guitar lessons with me, just send me an email or a direct message via Instagram or Facebook. And you can support the show in 2 ways you can support the show in 3 different ways. By subscribing and leaving the thumbs up, which is a simple, free way of doing it. By becoming a patron on my Patreon page, which will grant you access to the videos earlier than everyone else. I will also give you a shout out, and you can contribute to the tip jar if you like it on PayPal. You can also buy merch on my website, and you can also go to my website and see the gear I use, the shows I have, etc., etc. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward for your comments. See you next week.